Straight out of East Blue. It's a One Piece manga review from Cool Guy for You. Oh boy, have we become more and more of a One Piece fan. And I want to pour out all my passion into sailing uncharted waters for the channel. We are going to do our first manga review. So, and look at that. Look at that. We are saving that for the reactions. That was a nice idea. I can't wait to unload those. But anyhow, until then, I wanted to keep fans content. So, anyhow, let's get on with it. Chapter 1, Romance Dawn, the beginning of the adventures. Now, what is interesting to me, I want to probably leave speculation out of this, and we'll do it in a separate video. But I do find it interesting whether the guy, because there's so much grand setup with this. It's so broad in its creativity, and it has such a setup from the very get-go. The build is just amazing. Everything is just built in. So I'm very curious if the guy, what was his name, Ichiro Oda or something like that. I'm wondering if he came up with the ending when he started this. If he knew the ending from the get-go. And there was an article I saw recently that he did come up with the ending, but it's not going to end anytime soon, so we don't have to worry. But enough of that. So we get the kickoff, and I'm going to kind of go along with the visuals here. So if I pause, that would probably be why. I want to get the fullness of the experience of the review. But anyhow, we get the kickoff. I'm going to stick to primarily notes, so I'm not just going to read things off. So we got the grand kickoff. We got Gold Roger, or Gold D. Roger, as I thought it said in the anime. But anyhow, Gold Roger. He had done it all. He got boatloads of wealth. Well, that's a pun. I guess that's a pun. Boatloads of fame, fortune, and treasure. He is the one to have conquered the Grand Line. And he hid his treasures. Most importantly, the One Piece. The mysterious and legendary One Piece. Oh man, do we have to do a video on a lot of this stuff. Gold Roger and the One Piece. I want to speculate, and we will in a separate video at the right time. We will. That would be very fun. But anyhow, Gold Roger ends up getting captured somehow. Very interesting that we don't have the details on that, but nonetheless, he gets killed off. But he's rather vague about where he hid his treasures. And that kicks off the epic, huge pirate age. Everybody wanting to find his treasure somewhere in the Grand Line. But anyhow, and then we get to our main man here, Luffy the Monkey. Very interesting. Tough as nails early on, or wanting to prove he's tough as nails, but just absolutely fearless. But this goes into the origin of Luffy's face scar. I'm not sure. I don't remember if the anime does. It's been a while since Bundle 1. But this is just insane. So the backstory is he took a little knife or dagger thing and he cut into his own face. with this small blade to prove how tough he is and worthy he is to sail, to be a pirate. Good grief. This is just very disgusting. The image of this sucker, the image of this is just beyond sick. I mean, you know, there's the eye, and then right, you know, below it a bit, it gets, there's a bone right there. And this shot is very sick of Luffy. He jabs it in there. Oh my goodness. And you can't risk under your eye. Good gosh, it's just very sick to just think about. The shot of it is just nasty. Perhaps the anime is toned down a bit from the manga. That would be an interesting comparison. But anyhow, I don't remember that. Maybe it was in the first bundle, but I don't remember it. Anyhow, so we get that. Then we have all this stuff with Shanks. But anyhow, we get the where is it? Here we go. Yep. So we get red-haired Shanks. Red-haired Shanks is kind of like his inspiration, his role model. He thinks he's really cool. He's a lead. He's a captain of pirates. So Luffy kind of wants to take after him. So we get the origins of Gomu Gomu Pistol. Gum Gum Pistol, or Gomu Gomu Pistol. It's him thinking how strong his fists are. Brown, brown, brown. And boy, oh boy, do I like the Gatling gun one. Oh, that one is neat. So yeah, he thought his punches were powerful as pistols. That's why he named the later thing something. But we can't get into spoilery territory. Man, that is tricky considering how far I am. But you can't actually be considered that far with One Piece, considering it's so long. I like One Piece length jokes. I like the, I couldn't find it, but somewhere, someone had put finished One Piece caption underneath a picture of a skeleton. That was good. That was good. I wish I could find that sucker again, but I couldn't find it. Anyhow, so yeah, we got Captain Red-Haired Shanks, you know, and he's trying to keep Luffy level-headed, because Luffy's just like all out with his mindset on this stuff. And then he trolled him with the milk. You know, he's just a kid. I think he was pretending it was alcohol or something, or just pointing out that the kid's drinking milk, that he's just a young lad yet, nowhere fit enough to be a pirate. Maybe 10 years later or something. But so anyhow, he's kind of Luffy's role model, and you know, one of the things about the pirates and the pirate age is, you know, just hearing all these stories. And my goodness, the things you would probably have heard about sea monsters and all this stuff would have been amazing. Scary and yet interesting. So anyhow, so Luffy took the pirate thing upon himself. He wants to become a cool pirate, and not just a cool pirate, but a cool pirate as soon as possible. And then the kid, Luffy, he did the treasure tab line. Oh, that was funny with at the inner tavern there. That was funny. I just put it on my treasure tab. I don't think it works like that. Anyhow, some stupid bandits come in and cause trouble. The guy brags about his 8 million belly bounty. Belly is, I think, the money currency in this. So, and then he brags that he killed off 56 people. And if you're having to run your mouth about how tough you are, you know. But anyhow, he just kind of bullies Shanks, kind of pushes him around, and verbally gives him the smackdown. But, you know, him and his crew, they don't mind. They just laugh it off. You know, this kind of a deal did not go well with Luffy. Did not go well with Luffy. He could not stand seeing this and watching this unfold. Greatly angered him. And you got to put it into perspective. Seeing your role model just get trashed and not standing up for themselves, you know. So essentially his role model was defeated in a way. But Luffy seems to be like the fighter type and just opens his mouth, you know, straight from the heart. He don't hold back. And, you know, he wants that justice. He wants that justice. Even if he's not strong enough to bring about that justice, he will darn try, tooth and nail. So anyhow. Now we get to... Boy, I'm behind on the imagery. Yeah, here we go. So anyhow, we get to the stretchy part. Luffy becomes stretchy. He ate the gum fruit. The gum fruit. Gum is the line of the attacks with the gum fruit ability. So he ate the gum fruit on accident, and it was stolen from an enemy ship, as it pertains to Shanks. But anyhow, even right with that, that is the perfect thing for the main character to have. Absolutely perfect. Infinite possibilities, beyond creative. I mean, this guy alone just very, very impressive. Hollywood collapsing, and the level of creativity this guy has is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. But this guy, as far as I'm aware, he also works as a team. He has a team, which makes sense. You can get a lot more done with a team than just oneself. So anyhow. So yeah, the gum fruit, secret of the sea, fruit of the devil. It's kind of just like a name for it because it gives someone superpower, depending on what kind it is. And this is a very interesting thing because ideally, I'd like to get a lot more information about this. Like, I want to know how these things are grown, where they're grown, if you can grow a specific kind, what happens if you eat a second one, different things like that. So yeah, and we do probably figure things out later. So anyhow, this is enough information, but I just like to speculate on mystery. So, but we got to save those kind of things elsewhere. So anyhow, so the ability, the gum fruit has an advantage. In this case for Luffy, he ate the gum fruit, which makes his body like rubber, stretchy. But it comes at a cost. There's also a detriment. Can't just be benefit. There's also a detriment. The cost is him never being able to swim for his life. He has weakness to the sea. That's what eating the gum fruit does. Gives you a weakness to the sea. So essentially, you better stay on the boat if you go at sea. Better stay on the boat. So anyhow, we get Luffy versus the bandits. And Luffy is going to get killed off by the bandits. Luffy stood up to them, to this bandit guy. I think he was bandit, yeah. Bandits. I just said bandits, yeah. Duh. So anyhow. So yeah, Luffy just being manhandled despite his ability. So Captain Shanks shows up. And he's going to deal with the bandits. He's going to deal with the bandits. And then the landlubbers line. Oh boy. Oh boy. So. But anyhow. Shanks and his crew, they just laugh things off against them. But here's the kicker. Here's where they draw the line in the sand. Shanks will not be idle when there's something going on with one of his friends or crew. If something's going on with them, if they need trouble, if they need help, if they're in trouble, he will act. So anyhow, just one of Shanks' crew, just one, manages to defeat all but the leader of the bandits. Talk about intimidating. And then the leader flees thanks to a smoke bomb. So it was a move of desperation. And of course he kidnaps Luffy. And I guess to just add a smidgen more in here, before this tidbit, the mayor of the town or whatever was begging the bandit not to harm Luffy. But he wanted to make an example out of Luffy. So anyhow, so we're out at sea. If we can scroll. Yeah, all right. So we're out at sea. The bandit leader and Luffy. He has Luffy hostage. Luffy still wants to fight, even though he's pretty much powerless. And the bandit leader kicks Luffy overboard. This is a big problem, considering Luffy ate the gum fruit. His weakness is the sea. He can't do squat. He can't swim, so he will drown and die off. So this dirtbag essentially was willing to kill the kid. Just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. And then there's the flashback of what had gone on, why Luffy took to the bandit leader. And the reason was Luffy couldn't stand it. He stood up to the bandits and the bandit leader, just trash talking Shanks, just putting him down, calling him a coward, all this garbage. So Luffy stood up. That's who he is. That's who Luffy is. No matter how powerful he is, he'll stand up. He'll stand up. There's some wrong out there. But anyhow, Luffy can't swim. A sea monster appears and eats the bandit leader. And then the sea monster goes for Luffy. So not only, as if drowning wouldn't be bad enough, getting eaten by a sea monster is pretty bad also. You would think. Oh boy. Neither would be a good option. Neither would be a good option. But anyhow. So yeah, the sea monster goes after Luffy. He's about to be eaten up. And what happens? Shanks saves him. Shanks tells the sucker. He gives him a look. He gives him a look. So by the look in his eye and saying for that sucker to get the heck out. See that sea monster? He told him, you get the heck out, essentially. So, Shanks managed to intimidate the dang sea monster. And then it is revealed the cost of saving Luffy. Shanks may have spared Luffy's life, but it cost him his left arm. His left arm was eaten by the sea monster, but he saved Luffy. So, quite a bargain there. An amazing self-sacrifice. I think it's called altruism. He was willing to risk himself to try, just to even try to save Luffy. And in succeeding to save Luffy's life, he lost his arm. Boy, oh boy. That would be tough. That would be tough. To be willing to lose an arm to save another. But to save another completely. To be willing to lose an arm. That you could probably talk about that for a few minutes. Jeez. Alright, so then Luffy seeks to surpass Shanks with the passage of time. But going back to this arm loss thing, Luffy got all worked up and cried about it. Shanks thought nothing of it. But anyhow, so yes, Luffy, later seeks to surpass Shanks and become king of the pirates. So, Shanks, really cool. Really, really cool. Because of this, they have a really neat connection. But with the passage of time, Luffy wants to become superior to Shanks. Become king of the pirates. And so, what does Shanks do? He gives Luffy his prized treasure, his top treasure, which is his straw hat. Very, very iconic. Not only does he give it to him, he tasks him to keep it safe and also to return it to him once he himself, Luffy, becomes great. So he wants it safe and returned once Luffy is great. So, what an influence on Luffy. What an amazing influence Shanks had on Luffy. Absolutely amazing. Anyhow, boy oh boy, we're gonna be in trouble if every dang chapter review is this long. It's as long as an anime episode. Good grief. We'll definitely have to work out the kinks, but the first episode should really be a good kickoff, so I guess that's what we're doing. Anyhow, let's get on to the last bit. What an amazing moment. What an amazing moment. His favorite hat, whatever. It was his treasure. So anyhow. So Luffy is set to leave 10 years later from the same spot of the same island. He takes off in a little rowboat. And then he meets up with the same sea monster from before. So Luffy's much more capable now, being 10 years older. I think he was 7, so now he's 17. I think. From what I've seen and heard and read, whatever the case. Funnily enough, this anime is over 800 episodes, and I think over somewhere around 900 chapters, I think. But anyhow. So yeah, the sea monster. And then Luffy gives it a Gomu Gomu pistol. Boom. Whacks the sucker the side of the jaw. So he took care of the same exact sea monster from before. It probably deserved it for 10 years prior. And Luffy ponders becoming king of the pirates, and he wants a flag, and he wants a 10-man crew. Just to start. So, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Very, very, very good setup. I don't know how you could have better setup. A more broad in creativity anime. It's just so very impressive. I've liked it more and more. All these early arcs, just really good. Really, really good. So, yeah, people said it gets good hundreds of episodes in. I'm thinking, well, it's really good now. I don't mind the pace at all, the slower pace, things like that. But anyhow, that is it. That is quite simply it. So the grand journey has begun. And now we get to do chapter 2 next time. So anyhow, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more. I will see you up ahead. And feel free to comment down below what a series this will turn out to be, to keep fans occupied in the meantime until I'm ready to toss out Bundle 2. Boy, oh boy, is that going to be good. That's going to be good. That is going to be good. And I think later on, I even iron out the audio balance issues. So we just keep trying to improve. So anyhow, I will see you up ahead for Chapter 2 of the One Piece manga review from Cool Guy For You. Take her cool.